This is Part 2, Episode 157. Back then on Blood River World, the Mosha clansmen relied on the automaton ship to decimate the Blood River World, wantonly raking in close to 10,000 Blood River crystals. Even though the golden horned beast's body was much bigger than the wild beast Chinyo, it barely managed to absorb up to 97 Blood River crystals. The killing intent from any crystal absorbed after was simply too terrifying. Luo Feng's willpower had no way to withstand it. Hence, back then he had to stop temporarily and quietly wait till a breakthrough occurred in the future. Demon Note Inheritance. During its training it constantly tested my withstanding ability. It's been a huge training factor for my willpower. And this inheritance is used to change one's soul. It's already increased my soul's control by over 10 times. Luo Feng thought, plus these 12 years, my mental state training has never stopped. Mental state training was completely different from training other things. Like origin law comprehension and studying techniques, those require a large amount of focus and energy, etc. Mental state, however, didn't require so much. It was more of placing oneself in the right state of mind. For example, during battle, one had to collect oneself, otherwise losing control of one's emotions during the battle would result in only 70 to 80% of strength. And like Thunder God and Hong, their mental state training has reached an extremely high level. No matter how complex a situation, it wouldn't affect their state at all. Their battle abilities would in fact still shine through it. Others may exceed their usual abilities through special circumstances, and people like Hong, however, were able to unleash 200% of his power at any time. This was with the right mental state, allowing one to release his strength at an extreme level. Of course, in terms of mental state training, Hong had already reached a super level of sainthood in China's history. Even Thunder God, his mental state was only slightly weaker than Hong's. And Luo Feng was weaker than Thunder God by a little. Luckily, Luo Feng had Hong and Thunder God, the two great figures to teach and guide him, hence his mental state had always been improving. Mental state training didn't have much relation to the amount of time spent. And some warriors training, wanting to reach undying, had to train for at least a few tens of thousands of years, some requiring millions. However, in terms of mental state training, just a short 10 years was enough to reach an extremely high level. After all, the ancient people of China didn't have lifespans over 112 years. Over these 12 years, Luo Feng had improved quite a lot. It was a pity in the three great mental states, he was still only at the pinnacle of the first level. Of course, in terms of willpower alone, he was already incredibly strong. Luo Feng stood in the quiet plaza. Within his internal world, the enormous mountain range like golden horned beast, its huge golden eyes bigger than 2 ponds stared at the right scaled claw. The Blood River crystal lay within. Number 99. The right claw clenched and a sharp claw slashed through the palm. Immediately the scales tore apart, and that little tiny Blood River crystal was controlled by the beast's spirit energy into the wound. From the touch, the formless energy immediately poured into the golden horned beast's body. Howl. It raised its head and let out a pained howl. This was a clash of killing intent and willpower. An endless amount of killing intent engulfed it, almost like countless war vehicles howling and forcing its way through. Luo Feng's willpower was condensed and sharp like a blade, defending against the many attacks. This pure clash of willpower, even if one had lots of strength and power, it wouldn't help this situation at all. I definitely must win. I definitely can win. This killing intent cannot defeat me, it cannot get through. Luo Feng's willpower roared. Time and again, persevering. Suddenly, the originally incredibly fierce killing intent backed away like a river, swiftly retracting. Simultaneously, the Blood River crystal lying in the golden horned beast's right claw began to flow with Blood River energy. The energy continuously entered the right claw, once again changing the beast's terrifying right claw. The pain once again attacked. One could only imagine the amount of pain the 99th crystal brought with it. It caused the golden horned beast to madly clash against the land, tearing through the mountain ranges. However painful, it could only bear with it. Finally, the pain subsided. The 99th crystal had completely fused with its right claw. Howl. The golden horned beast raised its head and howled happily, its howl reverberating throughout the endless internal world. It slightly raised its right claw, triggering the powerful Blood River crystal within it, and immediately the claw began to undergo a change. Its bones, scales and muscles, etc., up to the finest of its cells, began to evolve from within. It immediately formed the dark gold claw, and on it were many little complex blood-red engravings. The engravings covered the entire right claw. They joined to form a picture, one of a beast howling. What a peculiar picture. Before, when he successfully absorbed the 98th crystal, the right claw's blood-red engraving picture that appeared didn't at all look like this beast howling. However, when the 99th went through, it added up to 100 other engravings that combined and made the originally scattered engravings much more complete than before. The engravings formed a complete beast, a lot like the beast of the beast god statue. The only difference was, it doesn't have the single horn like the beast god statue. And because it's missing the horn, it looks like this blood-red engraving picture is yet to be complete. I think when I successfully absorb the 100th, it'll be complete. I'll try and see if I can successfully absorb the 100th Blood River crystal. The golden horned beast once again retrieved another crystal, trying once again to absorb it. Within the plaza, Luo Feng stood in the plaza. The stone ground beside was covered in fresh blood. It was blood that the earth body spit out in pain while absorbing the 99th Blood River crystal earlier. Absorbing the 100th crystal was a failure. Luo Feng rubbed the sweat off his forehead. The final absorption of the 100th crystal was indeed very difficult. I think it'll take a few more years after my willpower rises more before it'll succeed. Absorbing the 99th crystal was a success. The 100th was a failure. Luo Feng, however, was still very excited. Because according to the red engraving showing on its right claw, it was that of a beast howling, and that beast was almost completely similar to the beast god statue, only it was missing a horn. Blood River crystal. It's indeed linked to the legendary beast god of Blood River world. Luo Feng thought, whether it's a blood warrior, black warrior, or the Blood River energy the golden horned beast triggers, they are all linked to the beast god. And I think, after I successfully absorb the 100th crystal, the horn will appear. And after the entire picture is complete, there may be a huge surprise. Luo Feng was elated. He looked around the plaza. There weren't any other life forms but him there. Below, however, in the deep abyss world there were trillions of beasts. Countless beasts, even undying level huge beasts, there were many of them. Time to go back. Luo Feng's body warped. He switched with the Mosha body and it instantly became an ice bear. A simple cute ice bear that looked about and rushed fiercely forward. The ice bear immediately passed through the white light barrier. It glanced down at the endless abyss world below with countless beasts. With a plop, it landed in the ice below, standing back up stupidly. The surrounding other stupid beasts all didn't even seem to notice this ice bear. The ice bear looked up at the 32 floating palaces above. All 32 of them have the white barrier. Following which, the light that protected Luo Feng's palace slowly began to dissipate. Looks like the other 31 palaces all have life forms excepting the inheritance. The ice bear glanced, anyway, I've already accepted what I could, and I cannot get any more. Time to grasp the time and leave. The ice bear looked about. In the vast cold deep abyss world, no matter which direction he looked, it seemed endless. It was littered with endless beasts, and the number of beasts was simply unbelievable. How do I get out? Ice bear Luo Feng was stunned. How did I enter and how do I go? Back then it was due to Mo Luo's kick that he entered the hole and fell into the deep abyss world. However, flying out of the hole to leave. The deep hole region has many huge undying level beasts. Every one of them simultaneously watches over many holes. Just the undying beasts alone, their swallowing energy is terrifying. I'd best not mess with them. Luo Feng recalled. The entire region below the holes were all undying beasts. And while Luo Feng was in ice bear form, he didn't see any other beast fly into the holes. Even the other beasts don't fly into the holes. Whatever they are not doing, I cannot do. Luo Feng thought. Then, the ice bear immediately began to explore the deep abyss world. However, after 3 days, it still hadn't found a way to leave the area. It was getting anxious. I'll just follow one direction and keep walking. I don't believe I won't reach an end. The ice bear began to proceed in one single direction, occasionally running and flying millions of kilometers, occasionally stumbling and walking about. Just like that, it walked further and further. Gradually, the beasts it could see also got lesser. When will I actually walk out of this place? Ice bear Luo Feng muttered. It continued to proceed in one direction. The beasts within its view got so little that he would only occasionally spot one. Howl. Terrifying demon note instantly swept past the area. Ice bear Luo Feng only slightly shook. Even though it was a transformation of the Mosha clansman, the core within the ice bear was still after all Luo Feng, and the core was hidden within the soul. Naturally, it would be affected by the demon note. This demon note should be able to affect a lower level sector Lord Warrior. Demon note. The ice bear suddenly stopped, its eyes staring wide. filled with human emotions, there's finally demon notes. After walking about in the deep abyss world for so long, it hadn't discovered a single demon note. Damn. I've finally encountered a demon note. Ice Bear Luo Feng was incredibly excited, so excited he felt like crying. Discovering a demon note here, looks like I'm just about almost out of the deep abyss world. The ice bear was so excited it immediately became a blur as it flew. With one breath it flew several hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Finally seeing the vast stone ice walls, there stood many caves. The familiar caves, the caves that I adore so. The ice bear waved its huge paws excitedly and immediately flew through one of the caves. Within the deep ice-cold cave, the ice bear walked alone, feeling gleeful. No matter what, I've finally left the deep abyss world area. To the ice bear Luo Feng, the rest of Demon Note Mountain, except for the deep abyss world, had no threat to Luo Feng. He proceeded forward and maintained a quick pace. After a while he already reached the end of a cave. There the caves all intersected, a total of 395 cave pathways. The ice bear looked about stupidly. Big trouble. I'm in trouble now. Ice Bear Luo Feng suddenly realized a problem. The only memory I have is of the path I took to get here. And now I have no way to follow that way back. In Demon Note Mountain, a cave connected to hundreds of others, any single one would connect to many others. The path was incredibly complex, it could be said to be a super maze. Even the normal warriors that came to explore Demon Note Mountain would usually memorize their old paths back. If they didn't, and explored randomly, it would take many years before they actually managed to find their way out of the maze. What do I do? I've never been in this area before. The other 394 caves ahead, which should I choose? The ice bear stared at the huge caves ahead, some bent about, some straight, some bent to the sides. He didn't know what to do at the moment. Paths he had never explored. And he couldn't backtrack. Luo Feng swiftly pondered within, there's no other way, just one, I have to find other humans. The other humans should know the way out. After all, under normal circumstances, those able to get over here are able to get back. People that have such bad experiences, like Luo Feng, which force them to end up in different places, are extremely rare. Ice Bear Luo Feng randomly picked a cave and entered, half a day later. So unlucky. I actually met a beast blocking the way. Luckily, it's only a stupid universe-level beast. An incredibly skinny yellow-robed man, with 2 white horns on his forehead, gazed at the ice bear before him, after which he casually brandished 2 large hammers from his back. 2 red hammers. Stupid beast, die before me. The skinny man instantly became a demonic blur, and rushed at the ice bear. The ice bear waved its ice-huge paw, fast as lightning. How can that be? A universe-level beast, how can it move that fast? The skinny man stared wide-eyed in shock. That huge bear paw was so fast he couldn't dodge it. It smacked right into him, smashing him into a mess and knocking him hard into the side walls. The tattered body fell on the floor. The ice bear looked at the body on the ground, after which it walked up to it and began to search for items. There's actually no AI or quantum computer, so unlucky. The ice bear instantly became a blur, transforming back into Luo Feng's earth body. Luo Feng looked at the body, frowning. I need to find a map out of Demon Note Mountain, and maps are normally stored in the warrior's memories. Also, they would normally carry a quantum computer to record the paths. However, this punk doesn't seem to have one. Right, the 9-star ocean place, even though some upper echelons have quantum computers. But this place is after all an aboriginal place. Those that have quantum computers are few. Luo Feng was troubled. Those aboriginals indeed had the pathways memorized in their memories. However, searching through memories was indeed troublesome. Normally hypnotism through the soul was easy. The easiest was to forcefully wipe a portion of their memories. The hardest was to dissect and search through. Even a master of soul techniques could easily wipe a person's memory. However, to actually search through the mysteries and recover specific information was still extremely hard. And these aboriginals were all at least universe level. Universe level warriors, their soul strength was already very strong. Luo Feng was able to easily hypnotize them, but to wipe their memories alone was almost impossible already. To search through was a definite impossible thing to do. Probably only Undyings could directly search through a universe-level warrior's memories. Hypnotizing the opponent, making him tell me the way. Luo Feng shook his head. This Demon Note Mountain is a super maze. The paths are incredibly complex. Just the number of pathways alone are countless. capturing a universe-level punk and making him lead the way. Luo Feng shook his head, still no. My movement speed is very fast. I don't have to care about the demon notes. These universe-level aboriginals however have to be incredibly careful about them, because the moment they meet a stronger one they would become zombies. No matter how he thought, Luo Feng still felt searching for a quantum computer, or AI was still better. No matter, those able to come to Demon Note Mountain were all strong warriors of 9-Star Bay. A small portion of them should have quantum computers. Luo Feng disguised himself as an aboriginal and proceeded. Those within Demon Note Mountain were indeed mad. As long as Luo Feng encountered anyone in the caves, those that thought themselves stronger than Luo Feng would immediately make a move and try to kill him. Luo Feng spent 4 days, killed 9 aboriginals. After killing the 9th, he finally acquired that aboriginal's arm quantum computer. Barbata. Hack in and find the way out. Luo Feng ordered. Understood. Barbata swiftly hacked into the average quantum computer. I've already found the path. Barbata said excitedly, we'll be able to leave soon. Luo Feng revealed an expression of glee. Finally. He was finally able to leave Demon Note Mountain, and it really wasn't easy. Rumble, a strong formless energy swept past that region. Luo Feng himself didn't realize anything. Barbata however immediately shouted out, Luo Feng, be careful, it's a world energy scan. There should be a Sector Lord warrior nearby. Sector Lord. Luo Feng frowned. Against Sector Lord warriors, Luo Feng wasn't too afraid. 19.3 kilometers. 10 kilometers, he's here. Barbata shouted. Luo Feng however only frowned as he looked in the distant spacious ice cave. A silhouette swiftly appeared. It was a silver-skinned man, with no hair at all, 2 curved horns on his forehead. He gazed at Luo Feng, like a lion hunting its prey. He gave off a powerful evil energy. You, a universe level 9 punk, you are actually able to kill a domain lord level 3 fighter, the silver-skinned sector lord said coldly. Looks like you have some treasures on you. Luo Feng continued to look coldly at him. Suddenly he turned and fled. Luo Feng fled incredibly quickly. You wish to run? The silver-skinned sector lord swiftly chased. Barbata, how strong is this punk? Luo Feng swiftly swapped to the Mosha clansman while fleeing. The Mosha clansman took on the form Luo Feng had of an aboriginal immediately. Sector Lord level 5. Barbata said. Only level 5. Mosha Luo Feng's face revealed a smile. Little punk, you can't get away. That cold voice resounded in Luo Feng's ears as the silhouette almost instantly reached before Luo Feng. Mosha Luo Feng however flashed in a peculiar movement. He actually turned and fled in the direction he came from. Simultaneously a seemingly simply built laser gun appeared in his hands. E9 laser gun. This laser gun had the style of the automaton race, simplicity. That's the weapon you used to kill a domain lord level 3. Looks like a laser gun, haha, that's a rare valuable. The silver-skinned sector lord's voice resounded in the caves. He however continued to rush Luo Feng. His speed was shocking. Mosha Luo Feng fiercely turned and flashed, easily dodging the attack. What? The silver-skinned sector lord's expression changed greatly. Mosha Luo Feng's sudden turn and flash, the instantaneous speed it displayed, it was simply unbelievable. It actually left the sector lord level 5 behind in speed. DI. The E9 laser warning light turned from red to green. 0.1 seconds had passed. The storage was complete. Kai. Luo Feng gently pressed the button. He coldly looked at the raging sector lord, his lips gently mouthing the words, not making a sound as he said, go and die. The extremely glaring white pillar of light instantly pierced right through the sector lord and later into the frozen stone walls of the cave. The ice layer melted and steam filled the air. The black stone instantly split apart, and the extreme low temperature in the cave suddenly shot up to extremely high temperatures. The huge change in temperature made even more steam rise up within. Very quickly, everything began to freeze back up. Luo Feng stepped on the broken ice and walked to where the almost completely disintegrated body was. At that time, only the remains of the armor were left. There's no entrance to hell, but you forced your way in to die, who can you blame? Luo Feng knelt down and swiftly found the sector lord's space ring. He used his spirit energy to pierce right in and with a scan, he revealed a smile. Ha ha. Not only did you come here to die, you even come with gifts. A sector lord is indeed a sector lord, so many black tags. Luo Feng was incredibly gleeful. He kept the large amount of black tags in his space ring. With this new batch, the number of black tags I've collected have reached over 9,800. I just need a little more to hit 10,000. Before he started the Demon Note inheritance, Luo Feng had already collected close to 8,000 black tags. Plus the new batch, it was really close to 10,000. He just needed a little over 100. 100 plus black tags should be easy to collect. I just have to meet a domain lord level 8 or 9, and I'll probably have enough. Luo Feng was extremely gleeful. He began to follow the path out. On the way out, he met 10 others. With the universe level 9 strength his earth body exuded, it indeed had attracted many domain lord level aboriginals to attack him. Naturally, they were all easily killed by Luo Feng. This made his total count of black tags naturally rise up to 10k. Haha, I'm finally out. I've finally left the Demon Note Mountain super maze. Luo Feng smiled as he immediately flew out of Demon Note Mountain's most outermost cave exit. It was perpetually the same ice stone. As Luo Feng flew out of the outermost cave, with a glance he saw the endless space. Within he felt comfortable and free. I'm finally out. My trip here in Demon Note Mountain has come to an end. Luo Feng turned to look at the huge endless Demon Mountain. He exclaimed within. His reward from his trip to this mountain had indeed been shocking. The Demon Note inheritance had made his spirit energy amplitude rise up to over 3,200. Many spirit readers, under normal circumstances, only reach up to a 100. Making progress in deities of the world only at most increased one's strength up to 27 times. This inheritance was a priceless treasure. It's a pity I was too weak, my soul could only take so much of it. If I were at the Sector Lord Pinnacle level, and I used the Gold Soul Fruit, I probably could have made it into the second part, and once I step on the second part stairs, I would probably be able to see the end of it, the shrine of the second part. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. Back then, when Luo Feng stood at about 10% of the first part, he could already see the shrine of the first part. According to his guess, he had to reach about 10% of the second part for the shrine to appear. Once it showed itself, only then would he be able to acquire the treasure within. It's a pity, I only made it to the late portion of the first part. If I can make it to 10% of the second part, I'll be able to use the Mosha clansman to retrieve the treasure in the second shrine, and after using it, I'll once again be able to go much further. As Luo Feng looked at Demon Note Mountain and exclaimed, from the distance, a team of silver-clothed staff swiftly flew over. Your Majesty! Your Majesty Luo Feng! The team of silver-clothed staff flew over and bowed respectfully, of which there was some that kept saying, congratulations on leaving Demon Note Mountain. HM. Luo Feng nodded. Please follow us. The team didn't seem to dare to hesitate. There were two royalties within Demon Note Mountain at the time. One was Luo Feng and the other a member of the last phase region. In terms of status, Luo Feng was naturally much higher. The staff respectfully led Luo Feng towards the palace at the foot of Demon Mountain. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A white-clothed silhouette swiftly flew over. Ah, it's you, Yi Chang. Luo Feng immediately recognized the white-clothed youth. It was the one that led him 12 years ago when he arrived. Your Majesty still remembers my name. The white-clothed youth seemed very moved. Simultaneously, he said, for Your Majesty to stay a total of 12 years in Demon Note Mountain, and come out safely, it's really impressive. Even though he said so, the white-clothed youth was shocked within. If official Po Yu found out Luo Feng came out, she probably wouldn't be too happy. Within the cold palace, Po Yu sat in her throne. Her undying energy swept past Luo Feng and the white-clothed Yi Chang, without them even realizing. With her ability, even Barbata's scanning device couldn't detect it. After all, in terms of strength, Po Yu was slightly stronger than Huyang Bo back then. What's more, she focused on soul techniques. This Luo Feng is actually still alive, staying 12 years in Demon Note Mountain. He really has some ability. Po Yu said softly. Her eyes gleamed coldly. Kacha. Her right hand that was like an exquisite jade stone immediately crushed the right arm support and reduced it to dust. However, there will be a day. Po Yu said softly. What? Po Yu's expression changed greatly. 10,000 black tags. That Luo Feng actually collected 10,000 black tags. Po Yu wasn't as sure as before. All she was left with was shock and rage. Luo Feng was chatting while walking with the youth Yi Chang. 10,000 black tags. The white-clothed Yi Chang was filled with shock as he looked at Luo Feng. Your Majesty Luo Feng, collecting these 10,000 black tags is even harder than the survival mission. It's been a long time since anyone collected the 10,000 black tags. Only Mo Luo from before completed it. Mo Luo. Luo Feng frowned, he completed it too. To collect 10,000 black tags, the quickest way was to kill Sector Lord warriors. And for a universe level 9 to kill Sector Lords, how impossible was that? Simply relying on strength was impossible, they would have to rely on assisting life forms, technological weapons etc. He relied on the Mosha clansman body and the E9 laser, the combination of both. What did Mo Luo use? Right. The white-clothed youth nodded. His Majesty Mo Luo did indeed complete it. However, he only stayed over 3 years in Demon Note Mountain before leaving. His speed sure was fast. Luo Feng laughed indifferently. To collect 10,000 black tags alone is extremely hard. I took up to 12 years to actually complete it. This Mo Luo did indeed collect the black tags a lot faster than I did. The white-clothed youth said, Your Majesty Luo Feng, to persevere 12 years to collect the black tags, your willpower is shocking. Even though he spoke the words, he was uneasy within. This absolute genius Luo Feng was too suicidal to collect enough black tags. He actually stayed in Demon Note Mountain for 12 years. That was an impossible level mission place. Staying 12 years, even if one's luck was good, he would still ultimately meet Sector Lord Aboriginals and Sector Lord Beasts. I really don't know how he managed to survive. The white-clothed youth Yi Chang muttered to himself. After a while, Yi Chang brought Luo Feng to a palace. Your Majesty Luo Feng, as you acquired 10,000 black tags, you are naturally able to receive the huge reward. This huge reward will be personally presented to you by Sky Feather Emperor, who's stationed here by the Virtual Universe Company. Yi Chang smiled, please wait a moment, I'll go inform them, please wait for Sky Feather Emperor to come see you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. As he watched Yi Chang leave, Luo Feng was shocked within. Sky Feather Emperor. After following his teacher for so long, Luo Feng had heard of a few absolute beings, the difference in levels between the Emperor level Undyings, and of which the beings that were extremely close to the level of universe country leaders. Just like his teacher, True Yang Emperor. And Sky Feather Emperor was one that his teacher had mentioned before, he even specially complimented this name. Among the Emperor level Undyings, there were very few that True Yang could not deal with, and Sky Feather Emperor was one of them. According to what teacher said, this Sky Feather Emperor is proficient in space and time laws. He is an absolute being that practices the universe primal chaos tablet. Even my teacher cannot deal with him. He has an extremely high position in the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation within. He really wanted to meet such a legendary person. Like True Yang Emperor, Sky Feather Emperor was another legendary level being. Mist Emperor was far below. After a while, Your Majesty Luo Feng, Lord Sky Feather Emperor, is currently in his feather palace waiting. The white-clothed Yi Change smiled and said, please follow me. Luo Feng nodded. He immediately followed the white-clothed Yi Chang, and flew into the many palaces at the foot of the mountain. After flying for about 2 minutes, they arrived at a majestic 100 kilometers tall enormous palace. The entire outer walls of this palace had strange bird-like creatures engraved all over. These bird creatures had 3 wings and 3 eyes. At the top of their heads they had feathers that were like a crown. What was special was one of their vertical eyes. Even though these were only huge engravings, that one eye of the bird still gave off a bone-chilling feeling like it could see through space and time. Your Majesty, please enter. I'm not allowed to follow you in here. The white-clothed Yi Chang stood outside the palace. The gold-armored guards standing in an orderly fashion outside opened a path for Luo Feng to walk through. There were over 1,000 guards there, of which there were 10 Undyings. Undyings standing as guards. Luo Feng felt like this was unbelievable. His teacher True Yang Emperor wasn't as extravagant, and the Undyings were normally proud warriors. Even if they submitted to a strong being, to be ordered to watch the door, they wouldn't normally agree. Unless it was for some special reason. Luo Feng immediately took a big stride into Feather Palace. Feather Palace's first level was the main hall. It was incredibly majestic, a dazzling sight. The entire hall was gold and black, 2 colors matching each other. Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew into the hall. After a while, he saw a glaring silhouette in the throne above, and below at the 2 sides sat many other silhouettes. Greetings, Sky Feather Emperor. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. True Yang has collected a good disciple. In the throne above, a voice resounded from the glaring silhouette. His voice boomed throughout the entire hall. This hall alone was close to 100 kilometers long and wide. In theory the amount of time needed for his voice to travel was very long, however the moment he opened his mouth, it resounded throughout. Luo Feng only looked up then, he saw the glaring silhouette in the throne. He had golden yellow long hair, or which his eyes had a hint of jade blue, at his forehead his vertical eye was the only golden one. He had a high nose bridge, thin lips, however as he gazed down below, it made Luo Feng feel as he looked up, there was a sense of an endless space before him. That natural power. It unconsciously made others submit. What a terrifying being, indeed a being on par with my teacher. Luo Feng was shocked within, when one reaches the level of True Yang and Sky Feather Emperor, the beings closest to becoming universe country leaders, even in the virtual universe, they wouldn't be underlings of any country leader or knight anymore. They were already extremely close to that level, they no longer needed to rely on such other beings. Beside Luo Feng's gaze turned. On the two sides below the throne sat a total of 24 people, they all had different appearances, some tall and sturdy, some beautiful, others cold, however according to Luo Feng's long time in primal chaos experience with his seniors, he could deduce that these 24 before him were probably all undying level. Take out your 10,000 black tags. The glaring silhouette in the throne said. Yes. Luo Feng waved and immediately a bunch of black tags appeared. According to the Demon Mountain rules, you've collected 10,000 black tags, hence you are eligible to receive a huge reward. Sky Feather Emperor gazed below at the tiny silhouette, he said indifferently, I'll now give you 3 prizes to choose from, you can only pick one. The moment he said that, the 24 undyings below seemed to change their expression slightly, however they all didn't dare make a sound. Of the 24, official Po Yu thought within, what's going on with Lord Sky Feather? Doesn't he normally just give one treasure? Why is he giving this punk a chance to choose? Po Yu was extremely unsatisfied within, yet she didn't dare make single sound. Sky Feather Emperor's word was law, the moment one defied him, the result was very possibly death. Part 2 end here.